What an incredible night. We've been doing For Race Fans Only here at QVC for 10 years. We've been broadcasting from all over the nation. We have had the biggest names in the world of motorsports joining us throughout the years. But tonight is the biggest show that we have ever produced. And there's a reason for it. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Peabody Auditorium here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Another live edition of For Race Fans Only. I mentioned earlier there are two words that are synonymous with motorsports when we head to this town. Daytona and the name Earnhardt. Tonight, you're going to meet the family. Let me introduce you to what's coming up in the program. We're going to have a ball, 3 hours of broadcasting dedicated to nothing but For Race Fans Only. And here are some items coming up in our program. Here is the NASCAR driver 6-piece gift set. We have driver availability right now of Dale.
Let's try.
Just love it. Tonight, our first guest, Dale Earnhardt Jr., driving the Budweiser Chevrolet. Tony Eury, his crew chief. Tony Eury Sr., his car chief, who you'll meet later on tonight. They're not making that noise for me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce you. Daytona, America, Dale Earnhardt Jr. How you doing?
Good to be back.
Oh, buddy. You and I have worked together a lot over the years. There's some things that are changing. Man, to be you for one day. I want to give you an opportunity to see our today's special value. Let's kick it off. It's a great way to start. Tribute to what you're doing this weekend, and even more so, the tribute to what you did last year at this time. Let's take a look at our today's special value. That probably most emotionally charged moment of NASCAR, a victory at a track that had so much history, good times, bad times. When you won the Pepsi 400 last year, it didn't matter whether you were an Earnhardt fan, Dale Jr. fan, just a NASCAR fan. People went nuts. Well, for good reason. Major League Baseball and NASCAR have always had affiliations, and Budweiser is the official beer of both. Here is an opportunity to pick up our today's special value. We went on the air at 12 midnight last night, and your sister, by the way, is one cool lady. Yeah. Kelly was on the air, just a sweetheart. Here is the car that was driven last year to victory in the Pepsi 400. You've never seen this car done this way. Color chrome on everything that you see that's red, beautifully highlighted in a hand finish that you won't find anywhere else. The All-Star game came up. You were there up in Seattle, had a ball with that. We captured the car exactly as it was seen on the track. But this year, the car is a little different, and what we wanted to do was to do the entire ride in color chrome, a two-car set at $73.62. Here is an opportunity to have something that you will not find anywhere else. And since your victory last year, this car has become the most highly sought-after piece in the collectibles market, and they're hard to find.
Yeah, it was a big victory for us. I was pretty happy to have the car. I mean, I've always drove white race cars back in the old days when I just started out, and so it was pretty cool. It was a great looking race car, and it's a great race for us, and pretty exciting for the fans and for the family and everybody.
It's the first ever two-car set we've done in color chrome. We've done two-car sets throughout the years since we started the program many years ago, but we've never done a set like this, and quite frankly, there's never been a story like this before in racing. You have had phenomenal success in restrictor plate racing over the last 4 races. This car was reskinned. You took it to Talladega in the fall, won that race. Came back in the spring, won that race. The car that we see here in red that you'll race this weekend is the car you won the race in last year.
Yeah, it's the actual car. I mean, it's done so well for us. Yeah, it's done. I mean, it's a good car, and you know, I try to fix something that's not broke, so we've just been taking it back to the racetracks at Talladega and Daytona. It's been winning for us.
I like the way the paint scheme looks. A lot different than last year. You realize it doesn't matter what you say tonight, people are going to cheer. You could do like the alphabet. Here is an opportunity to have racing history because the story, obviously a very emotional one coming back to Daytona. This year, it's a year that you've had a lot of success. I mean, your star is definitely on the hot ride right now. Everything's going really well for you. Here is a chance to have two cars that you're not going to find elsewhere. Now, later on in the program, we're going to show you this car done in 24 karat gold. We've got one in platinum. Both of those will probably sell out before we get to them. We'll show the car as it will look on the track, but the color chrome is a high gloss, independent, one last step in the process that makes these things glow like they're almost under the lights at Daytona.
Yeah, it's a good looking piece.
We've got an audience question for you, one of our folks here in the audience. Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey, Dale, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, bud.
I know you're going to dominate on Saturday and go ahead and pull through the finish line for us, but I want to know if you had any problems with the setup with the car so far.
Good question.
No, not really. I mean, this weekend we haven't got on the racetrack yet, but we're looking forward to it. We always run good there, so we were running second to Michael in the 500 and had a flat tire, and we still were able to get up there with no fender on the car. So
Yes, you did.
we,
Yes, you did.
it's a great race car. It's been a great race car for us over the past year and a half or 2 years that we've run it.
Great
All right,
question.
man, I'll be pulling for you.
I appreciate it.
Dale, I got a question for you. Because this car, done in the white paint scheme that we saw last year in Victory Lane, because this was reskinned, does this car exist anywhere at DEI?
It's the same car.
But I mean, in this version, with the white
No,
Major League Baseball?
No, I got one side off of it hanging in my shop behind my house. So there's a few pieces of parts here and there, and we've actually auctioned off some of it to charity and stuff like that.
So when you think of it in terms of collectability, I mean, this becomes a one of a kind, an opportunity to kind of lock history, freeze it in place, so you have one of the most dramatic and important victories of your career. And I want to show everybody the tiny detail and some of the cool things that you do. Joe Hedrick, who is your Vice President and Director of Marketing, cool guy over at DEI. There were baseball stitches that went all the way up the hood and all the way up the window, but you notice they're only on half side. NASCAR has a rule, you can't have any decals on the windshield. So they were cut. That was actually captured in the die cast to make this thing look absolutely like what it'll look on the track, with the exception of that super high gloss color chrome finish. And color chrome is the most popular finish that we offer in die cast. These are for race fans only exclusives. You're not going to find them anywhere else. 20,004 sets were manufactured. We've had close to 15,000 that have been purchased already tonight, and we're nowhere near 12 midnight where that price is going to go away. So it's going to be a matter of these selling out before the price disappears. I highly urge you to consider picking it up. Tough question. I know you're asked this a lot. Had a chance to even talk to Kelly about this. Your dad had the most phenomenal peripheral vision. This guy, it's like you could see behind his head, which is a big benefit when you're driving on restrictor plate races. You've had incredible success in restrictor plate racing in a relatively short period of time. Is it in the gene pool? Is it in the eyesight? I mean, what's working for you, man?
Well, everybody knows you got to have a good race car to run well at those racetracks, and that's a lot of it. That's a high percentage of it. But the driver definitely comes into play. I mean, I don't know if they always said that Dad and other drivers in the past could see behind them, and when they did run real well at the restrictor plate racetracks, but the air around the car changes, and the car will drive different as to where people are around you. So if the air picks up coming into the side window, if that gets faster, if a big gust starts coming in, you know you got somebody coming up on the left rear corner panel. And if your car moves to the left without you turning the steering wheel, somebody's coming up on the right side. So
I like the way you say it so calmly. If the car turns left and you're not turning the wheel, for most of us, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like you driving down the interstate running behind a tractor trailer and the wind kind of buffets the car around. Well, that's the same thing. Cars behind you can do that as well. So.
Okay. Good answer, great answer. And I know Linda has a question for you. Hi, Linda, how you doing?
Okay, how are you, Dan?
I'm doing great.
Dale, how are you?
Great.
I'd like to know, will you be driving a number 3 next season?
The number 3, I don't know what our plans are. We'll be running the number 8 in the Winston Cup Series for a long time. I don't have any plans to drive the number 3 in the Winston Cup Series.
Bush race either?
But we actually are trying to plan to put together a program at DEI with Teresa and myself and Ty Norris and a few other people are trying to put together a program to run 3 or 4 races. I'm such a big fan of running restrictor plates, and I do so well at them that I'd like to run the Bush races at Daytona and Talladega.
Okay, good luck. We're rooting for you.
Nobody ever came close to the success at Daytona your dad did. 34 victories if we include IROC. And you've got that, again, in your blood. The restrictor plate racing seems to work well for you. Dad always said he hated restrictor plate racing. He seemed to be pretty good at something he didn't like.
Yeah, he was pretty phenomenal at some of the races. Some of the ways that he won a few of those races at Talladega and Daytona were pretty impressive. But he always just found a way to be up front when he needed to be there. And even if he didn't win the race, he was definitely in the battle for the win.
Mm-hmm. Well, tonight we celebrate because, again, last year with a victory in the Pepsi 400, we were able to capture that car with a high gloss finish that you're not going to find anywhere else. Everything that was on the car in red, you can see now as a mirrored chrome finish. That's referred to as color chrome. That's never been done in the history of the sport on this particular vehicle. We have that one. We then have this year's model done completely in color chrome. Everything that was red. You see the baseball bat on the side. And Daytona, NASCAR, now Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, you've become as much Americana as, you know, apple pie, 4th of July, baseball, and the rest of it. Here's a chance to have something that's really cool. We've got less than 4,000 sets remaining out of the World Edition, and they were created for today's program. We have 20,004 that were made, now less than 4,000 that remain. I know Beverly's standing by. How are you, Beverly? You look happy, Beverly.
I am. I'm glad to be here.
What's your question?
I'm actually asking this question for my 13-year-old granddaughter, Dale, who's been waiting a whole year to come to see you race, and she'll be there. She wants to know what it feels like after driving 200 miles an hour on that racetrack to get out and have to follow the speed limit.
That's the best question I've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, that's the tough part about having a speed limit on pit roads is you're sitting there, you run 60 laps as hard as you can, and then you got to drop it down to 45 miles an hour, and it's real easy to speed on the pit road and off pit road, and that's kind of the same way it is when you're done with the race and you're driving home. It's if the traffic's not too bad, you can get yourself into trouble. But the law's pretty good around. They have enough state troopers and policemen around each of the races to keep everybody in check. So.
And it doesn't hurt that very often you hear phrases from state troopers like "Earnhardt who," you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great question. Tell your granddaughter, definitely in addition to the program.
She's in the audience.
Beautiful.
We'll be rooting for you.
You still have the Corvette?
Which one?
Yeah. How many do you have now?
Yeah, I got 3 now. So,
3 of them.
Yeah, I'm a big Chevrolet guy, so I've got a pretty good little collection going.
Beautiful. Here is, again, an opportunity to take advantage of what obviously is going to be a one-day chance to pick up not only last year's car, which is one of the most highly coveted piece of die-cast anywhere. You're not going to find it. I mean, I've looked. And as a private collector myself, it is difficult to find. And then to have this year's version done in the color chrome, both of them very, very unique. You get the collector's box, you get the certificate of authenticity. Your folks, yourself, Teresa, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, allowed us to be the folks that launched this to the world. But they're going to be gone tonight. So take advantage of them, have some fun while you get a chance. $73.62. We've got less than 3,000 remaining out of the 20,004 that were created. If you win this week, will this car be reskinned again? I mean, it's such a great car. There's a chance that we'll only see this paint scheme one time and one time only.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, it's such a good car. We've actually, when we did win with this other scheme, the white car, we actually had a tough time deciding whether to race it again. But yeah, if we get out of here in one piece, we'll definitely go take it somewhere else.
Beautiful. We're going to wrap up on our today's special value in just a few moments. Tonight is just a fun night. Coming up a little bit later on, your older brother, Kerry Earnhardt, joins us. Tony Uri Sr., who is the car chief for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated and Dale Earnhardt Jr., they'll be with us as well throughout the program. We're just going to have a good time. Here are some things that you need to know. There is a wonderful private collectors club called the Action Racing Collectibles Club of America. You'll see it abbreviated as RCCA. For $14.95 for a lifetime membership, you can become a part. We've got some things that are a little bit different. Is this identical to the cap you're going to be wearing coming up this weekend?
Yeah, that'll be the one.
That's the one right there. Coming up with the All-Star Game, the number 8 right here. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball, and also of Dale Earnhardt's ride. It's just an opportunity to have something a little bit different. Try to figure it out. How many times have you signed autographs this year?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm waiting for your
I
arm to
don't
just
think,
fall
yeah,
off.
I don't think you can put a number on that.
Brand new caps. Tonight is a national television debut for these. The cap is $25. We have a really cool looking t-shirt. And I know that, I mean, you've got a sense of fashion, a sense of style that is very much your own, but you play a hand in seeing what's really going to come to fruition and what the real race fans are going to wear. You make some decisions on a lot of this.
Oh, yeah. I myself personally approve most everything that's made with my name on it, so I definitely had a hand in deciding.
Dale Jr.
Good evening, Dale.
How you doing?
I'd like to say good luck Saturday night. I was wondering if there's been any talk of your brother Kerry possibly joining you in a DEI in the future in a Winston Cup car.
Well, I mean, there's you know, there's no talk. I mean, right now, no big plan or no scheme or to follow through over the years to where he can be in a Winston Cup car with DEI, but he has to, you know, prove himself in the Busch Series and be able to run good every week and finish in the top 5 in the points and establish himself. You know, I mean, we could put him in a Cup car now and have him at the racetrack every week, but that doesn't do him any good. He has to, you know, learn a lot more about the race cars and learn about a lot more about how they drive and the ever-changing rules and everything that you're throwing, all the curveballs you're throwing year in, year out. So it's going to be a few more years, but I expect that they'll run him in a few selected races, maybe even next year.
Thank you, Dale.
Great question. The history books bear this out. Whether we're talking about your father with his dad, Ralph, you with your dad, having the last name Earnhardt didn't guarantee you anything.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was smart enough to know that, you know, I should earn my way into the sport, and I think that he did a good job at making good decisions for me when I needed help and helping me get to where I am. But definitely didn't get there, you know, on a magic carpet ride or anything like that.
Yeah, every bit of success I've seen in your career has been earned from day one.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been that many years ago that you were still, you know, sweeping up the floors in the shop.
Yeah. Yep.
Does it blow you away every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened so fast. I don't think I've changed that much. I still got a good group of friends that I hang out with that kind of keep me grounded. Yeah, they're actually here.
Yeah,
so,
they're here. And I'll tell you what. And just from seeing some of your buddies, good friends will keep you from getting an ego.
Yeah, they do.
They'll bust your chops when you get out of line.
Yep, they smack me around when I start to get a smart mouth. So.
Well, that's part of good friendship. I'll tell you, we've got a lot of great night. If you're just tuning in right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. with us. We've got your brother Kerry coming up. We've got Tony Sr. coming up. That's a big night. Yeah. This is actually the biggest race show that we've done all year long. And, I mean, this is perfect. We're here in Daytona. We're getting ready to race coming up on Saturday. And we want to introduce you to some new things. You might not have seen this set before. It's only been on the air one other time. This is a really nice little keepsake set. And what it's going to offer you are 6 different pieces. It's a way of being able to put your photographs in something that's special. These are all poly resin. They look like kind of an old wood-fashioned frame. Reproduction 6.
He actually died before I was born, so that's really the only way I really knew much about him. So it's, we still, you know, keep a lot of that stuff and look at it from time to time. It's great to keep those.
You're always in the media. There's always people who are snapping your photo. Are you one of these guys who takes a camera with you on a regular basis so that you can take photos to just remember things?
Yeah, on vacations and stuff like that. I mean, me and my friends, we come to Daytona early in July, and we always bring a digital camera with us. You never know what we're going to get into, so it's, it's always, you know, some of the stuff nobody believes, so we always got to keep the camera around.
We're going to go off to an audience question here in just a second. I heard this rumor, confirm or deny. You're getting nervous, don't worry. There was a time when you took one of these Instamatic cameras in the race car?
Yeah, there was a magazine, Winston Cup Illustrated, wanted some of the drivers to take cameras around with them, and they give us like a little fun saver.
But they meant it at the track.
Yeah.
They didn't mean in the car,
yeah.
right?
So
okay.
I thought no other driver would take one in the car with them. So I was making some qualifying runs of practice, taking pictures of me going down the back straightaway of the tachometer and stuff, so everybody would know I was really going as fast as I could go.
That's funny. That's beautiful. One of the most rewarding things about seeing your career and seeing the growth as you proceeded through what you're doing is seeing how many young fans you've got that are just avid fans. We got a young man in the audience. Cody, how you doing? Yeah, no pressure at all.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a great shot. So, I mean, you're actually too young to gamble, but if I was a betting man.
Cody, that's a great question. We thank you for your addition to the program. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, buddy.
We've had, I mean, people are going nuts. This is fun. This is a good time. It's going to be this way all night long. Do you have a favorite photograph? One photograph that stands out above everything that you have?
Yeah, I do, actually. There's one somebody took of me a long time ago when I was racing late model cars, and there's like, it just kind of, you know how they say a picture says 1,000 words.
Yeah.
It just really kind of took everything that was happening at that moment and really makes it, you know, kind of shows you what things were like at that time. It's just the car and me, and I'm actually measuring a tire on the right rear, and there's just a lot of people around doing a lot of different things, and I'm kind of in my own little world, so it's kind of, that's probably my favorite one. But I mean, I got a lot of favorite pictures of my dad and me together when I was little. You know, when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Those are pretty impressive.
To me, this is what frame shots like this are for. And don't forget to put a photo of yourself in here, again, to show your fan support for these drivers. We've got, almost everybody here tonight has a camera, and when you take that one photo of like yourself or, you know, any of the race car guys, I mean, put them in a frame that's special. We want to be able to make those available to you. It's a great gift idea. Relatively new to the program. They've only been on the air one other time in the past. One thing I should tell you, you are going to need a AA battery for the little clock. But take these to work. I mean, take your NASCAR support with you to the office. Put them up on the file cabinet. Put them on the desk of the credenza. And that way when people walk in, they know a little bit about you. It's the one cool thing about NASCAR is NASCAR fans come in every shape, size, color, age, you name it. And we all share a common bond that we like racing. We might root for different people, but what the heck. Let's show all of them. Here's the big frame. Oh, pardon me. This is the big one. This is going to hold a 4x6 photograph, and the size of the frames are according to the photograph that goes in it. And you put yours in here. They all look like burned wood with the signature, but it's done in a poly resin, so they're nice and durable. They've got an easel back. That's the 4x6. We've got a 3.5 by a 5.5 size, and then we've got one that's a little bit smaller, almost wallet size, and that's 2.5 by 3.5. And then you also get a little refrigerator magnet size, and that's got the magnet on the back so you can plop it up against the refrigerator. You're going to get the wall clock to go along with it, or the desk clock, and then there's a little trinket box that you put your favorite little knickknacks in, whether it be, you know, jewelry pieces you've collected over the years, or one of the favorite things with working with your dad is we did a show in Charlotte one night, and he was drinking a Sundrop, and somebody asked after the show was over, said, "Can I have that can?" That was a great possession, a collectible. At $26.91, here's a place to put your favorite thing. Made the decision to create something called NASCAR. Tonight we're at the Peabody Auditorium, which is a great venue. You know this guy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is our special guest tonight. We've got a lot of guests coming up. I'll tell you what, this is fun. I'm having a good time. We're going to unveil something brand new. Again, the big story here in Daytona is your return once again for the Pepsi 400 after having won the race last year. Here is the car that you'll drive once again coming up Saturday night. And I know in the interview last night I kept saying Sunday because I'm used to Sunday racing. This is done in 24-karat gold plate. Our gold cars, which are part of our premium precious metal package that you'll only find here on For Race Fans Only. These are made by Action Performance. 2,508 is the accurate number of how many were created. And that is truly a drop in the bucket. It's not uncommon. Well, a good example, our today's special value, we're down to well under 1,000 of those remaining. 20,000 were created, and they'll sell out today. So to have something where there's only 2,508, there's not a lot of folks who get a chance to have them. And the gold cars are gorgeous. They're beautifully done. And this is going to be a special ride. This is one that people are going to remember for a long time to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said earlier, it's been a great program for us. It's been a great program for Budweiser and All-Star game. For, you know, to be able to go to the game was a lot of fun for me, and the Major League people have enjoyed it too. So it's a good-looking car too.
I mean, the car on the track, and we'll show you the actual car as it will look on the track. We've got that coming up later on, but to see it in the gold, there's just a lot of gold on it. Everything that you see that has color, that's the number 8, Bud on the hood. We have the Major League Baseball logo and all the rest of it. All of that is done in paint that's been applied over the pores of the gold and then embedded in place. This is opening hood, opening trunk, so you get a lot of detail, and it's pretty amazing that they captured everything, including putting Bud underneath the hood. The whole goal is never to see that, though.
Well, I mean, you know, for action, it's all about quality and trying to give the race fan the best piece of diecast they can. So they've came so. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, you know, the best thing you could get is hardly what we have now. So it's just amazing some of the detail.
I mean, inside you can see all the cockpit, you see the instrumentation, you see the Halon fire extinguisher, the window netting, the Earnhardt bar right up in the front, which your dad had a lot to do with creating with an accident in Talladega earlier in the career. This is just a beautiful piece, and to know that very few people are going to have them makes it extraordinarily special. We have them at $133.50. We've got another audience question. What's your name?
Jaleesa.
You know, there's a lot of cool stuff's happened to me over the last couple of years as far as wins and stuff like that. I would have to say winning the Winston was probably the biggest win for me. My biggest moment was probably racing with my father in Japan, the first time me and him ever raced together. That was a lot of fun. But each little win, each little race has something special about it, and it's kind of really tough for me, I think, to pick just one. But I think if I had to, it would be the first time me and my father ran together in Japan. So.
Great question. I'm starting to get nervous. If these kids keep asking good questions, I'm going to be out of a job real quick. Most people don't realize how your life changes after that first win. Take us back to Texas, your first Winston Cup win. And for us, when we're watching TV and we're watching a program, I mean, the ceremony's over. It's the end of the program. We turn off the TV, go do something else. But it is an amazing regimen of what happens when you win. Can you take us through a little bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive to, you know, every time we've always won a race. I mean, when we race in the Busch Series, you know, we were pretty successful, and we never expected to go into the Winston Cup Series and be as successful as we were in the Busch Series. And it's been pretty tough. I mean, we've had some great wins and some great things happen to us, but you'd be amazed at the things that go on after winning a race. Just, you know, the highs are really high, you know, and it's just kind of hard to kind of get it all in, and you're kind of overcome with everything that's happening, and 15 people are talking to you at once, so it's kind of hard to understand what everybody's trying to tell you and what everybody's saying. But my dad told me a couple times to always enjoy it, you know, and I couldn't really understand what he meant by that, but I think what you do is you're so worried about everything going on around you that you forget to stop and enjoy actually what you just accomplished. So it's a missed opportunity. Sometimes you can't go back, you know, and relive those moments.
Great quote in your book. In personal opinion, the greatest moment in the book is when you said, Dad and I didn't always see eye to eye, but it always seemed that the advice he gave me was the right advice, even if it didn't make sense at the time. Yeah,
I mean, I think that goes for every father and son, or you know, a relationship with your parents is, you know, they always can tell you the best way to do something, and you always are going to think that your way is the better way to do it. But after a while, you learn that they were right. So after a while, I mean, I realized early in my career to follow his advice was a lot better than following my own. So,
great quote from your dad as well, was he said, yep, taught him everything he knows, but I didn't teach him everything I know.
Right.
And I like that one too.
Yeah.
The gold cars, these are the top of the line. These are some of the smallest edition runs ever made in the world of diecast. We've got gold here. We'll talk about platinum later. These have been very, very popular. I highly urge you to pick them up while you have an opportunity. Bob, you got a question for us in the audience. What's your question?
Hey, Dale, I was a big fan of your dad's, and I followed you since you started in the Busch Series. I wanted to know how big of a change for you it was to go from the open face helmet to the closed face helmet, because I know your dad wore it, and you know you wore it in your young career.
It wasn't very hard for me. I had actually tried to go to the full face helmet a few times. My father was never a big fan of the full face helmet, but now with the head restraints we have, it's almost better to have the full face helmet, because there's a good possibility that your head could come out of the open face helmet with the head restraint. And I think that my father's opinion would probably be the same as mine now. With the head restraints, the full face helmet's the way to go. But I used a full face helmet, and it was my father's wish to do that when I ran in the street stock division, because there were all the time there were big kind of pieces of parts flying off everybody's cars and coming through your windshield, so you had to have something on. But as I moved into the Busch Series, he preferred me to wear the open face. But it's, you know, now with the head restraints, I think it's a different deal.
Good luck. Go get them Saturday
Yes,
night,
sir.
buddy.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir. Your dad's preference for the open face helmet wasn't just a comfort issue, it was also a matter of other drivers being able to see his face while they were door by door.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if it was that, but you know, he actually had his own helmets made for him to where they were kind of cut back a little bit so he could see better and stuff like that. He had such good eyesight. But.
Great answers, great questions. We've got more coming your way as we continue. The gold car, very, very popular. I need to tell you, the platinum car just sold out without us ever getting to it. The gold car will most certainly follow. There's a few hundred of those that are remaining, and when they're gone, they're going to be gone. The Dale Earnhardt Artist Series 76 card tribute set. I highly urge you to wait and see this presentation because this is a card set unlike anything that has ever been done in the history of collectibles, and no other better person in the world to be memorialized through it. Wait till you see what's coming your way. This is the Dale Earnhardt Manuscript of Daytona, and we're here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. We are actually here because we had rain yesterday. We were actually going to be in the band shell, which was across the street, but this has worked out beautifully. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous venue. We want to thank the folks at the Peabody for making us feel so welcome. And here is what I love about this is because when those of us who are race fans, or if you're a baseball fan, basketball fanatic, what have you, there's not a lot of things, if you're a Michael Jordan fan, that you can say, I can wear that are exactly like what he wore. I mean, the guy's like 7 foot tall. If I put on a pair of shorts, it'd, you know, go all the way to my ankles. These are glasses that you actually helped to design. It's the first time in the history of gargoyle sunglasses that a driver actually had input into design, style, flair, and function. And it's probably the coolest pair of glasses we've ever done. These also come with a hard shell case. You're going to get the Dale Earnhardt Jr. strap. You get a visor clip, which is a great idea. So you've got a place to put your glasses. You get a soft poly pouch. And then you get a collector's card from Gargoyle that is only available with these glasses. And I'll tell you what, man, if this whole driving thing doesn't work out, you got a future in fashion design, because these are probably the most comfortable glasses I've ever seen.
Yeah, actually, we have worked with Gargoyles for many years. My father had, and although they look good on him, his particular choice in sunglasses I didn't like that much, and so I kept, you know, I talked to him for a couple of years, and finally we just sat down and said, hey, why don't we just design something else? And you know, they were kind of nervous because they didn't know what I'd come up with or anything, but I kept it pretty reasonable, I think, and I like them a lot. I mean, I think that Gargoyles did a good job and kind of helped with my input, so pretty happy with them.
Here's the amazing thing. I mean, the technology of the glasses, I mean, it's one of the cool things about it. You think differently. I mean, these are glasses that every pair of glasses I've ever seen had that little wire nose piece. These don't. These are silicone pads that are embedded into the nylon frame. They are remarkably lightweight. You're wearing a pair of Gargoyles right now on your head, a little different than these, but we've seen you at the track with these on many times in the past. And to know that at an affordable price of $54.75, you can wear the exact same thing that you wear.
These here are just another color. I mean, you can get them in, I believe, other colors, red and blue and stuff like that. But it's, you know, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I never thought that I'd ever get a chance to design a pair of sunglasses, so it was pretty cool.
They're called Thunder. And here's your chance to pick them up. We're going to go off. We've got a question in our audience. This lady, by the way, was a very nice lady. It's pronounced Janice, right?
Right.
Janice, what's your question for Dale Jr.?
Hi, Dale. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I was wondering if there's going to be any more specialty paint schemes after the Major League Baseball?
Well, we don't really have any plans to do many with the Winston Cup car. That's another reason, too, I guess, why I wanted to do some Busch races next year, was to do some things of my own, not really sponsor-related, but with Budweiser and myself. And so we'll do some stuff with the Busch car, and that'll be a lot of fun for me, a lot of fun for y'all, and we're going to make some pretty cool paint schemes and stuff like that, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it.
Okay, thank
Great
you.
question. I'll tell you what, from that question, that's also emphasis as to the importance of the Major League Baseball car, because this could very well, as far as Winston Cup, because we had the the Oreo ride and the vanilla wafer, but that was Busch. That may be your only opportunity to find specialty paint for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Winston Cup this year. So would you humor me? Put these on, man, because they fit you. They're just you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a style that works.
Yeah, I like them. I mean,
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean, when you were in high school, you were relatively shy, pretty quiet, and there's still very much a part of you that's that way. I mean, for a young man who's had just phenomenal success, you're still incredibly down to earth, very humble, and just a fun guy to hang around with. Does the fan adulation sometimes throw you for a loop?
well, it's something that I don't think I ever will get used to, because I know that you know, it's hard for me to believe that that's the reaction I'm getting. I mean, because I'm just the guy that you know, changed oil for people just like y'all. So, I mean, you know, it's pretty amazing that it's kind of turned around. But you know, it's something I'll never get used to. I mean, you know, signing autographs and taking pictures and stuff like that, that's a little different. But when you hear people, you know, cheer for you and cheer for you when your name's announced and stuff like that, I mean, it's you know, it's always overwhelming. Yeah.
It's cool. What's that like? Never mind. $54.75. Here's a chance for all of us to kind of feel like we're, you know, at least part of the style.
Yeah.
And it's style that fits. It's kind of funny. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. Men, women alike, the glasses look good and they fit. Gargoyles does a really professional, very scientific job on the lenses that they actually put into the frames. It's a polycarbonate that blocks UV radiation, the UVA, the UVB, the UVC, and they do it at affordable prices. They're also durable glasses. I've had a pair of these since you first brought them on the air when we first introduced the Thunder, and I've sat on them, I've stepped on them, and they're still hanging in there. You get the hard shell case, you get the Dale Earnhardt Jr. strap, you got something a little bit new, which I really thought was a great idea. These are the visor clips, and you just put it on the visor of your automobile and hold your sunglasses for you. You get the G-Force soft pouch, and then just for those folks who pick up this, here's a private collector's card that you're not going to find anywhere else. And it's kind of neat. I mean, you're wearing the glasses on both sides of the card. These are the same one. I mean, the ones you wear aren't extra special or, you know, gold-plated or made differently. They're made just like these are made.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, we've had a lot of fun doing it. So I just hope that, you know, Gargoyles gets, you know, hopefully race fans buy a lot of them. So Gargoyles will let us design some more.
Pick them up. $54.75 for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Gargoyle sunglasses with the case and the card. Coming up next, bar none, one of the coolest things we have, these fans only. We've been doing this show for 10 years under this name, actually broadcasting racing-related programming for a little over 12 years. We've never seen anything like this before. This is the brand new Dale Earnhardt Artist Series 76 card tribute set with the 5 bonus cards. What we've done is taken a board to give you an idea of what it looks like with all of them, but I'm going to draw your attention in. I want to start off with the first 5 cards in the set, because today was the worldwide television premiere of the set. No one had seen this other than the folks at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated and Bill Purdom and some of the other folks. When this set does go to the general public, the 5 cards you're about to see will cease to exist. You won't find them anywhere. These are the 5 bonus cards. Dale Earnhardt with his first Winston Cup trophy. This is a cool, oh, pardon me. There's a cool card with his 7th championship. These are all gold foil back and beautifully done. I'm going to have you draw your eyes in real close because I want to point out something to you. What you're looking at are not photographs, they're drawings. Bill Purdom, the world-renowned sports artist, took 76 different photographs of your father's career. Back in the olden days, personal side. You will learn more about Dale Earnhardt from this card set than you'll ever learn from any book that's ever been written, from any interview that's ever been done on TV, and you really learn a lot about the guy, because on the back of each and every one of these cards is a little blurb that tells you a little bit about the man. When you look at them, you'll swear that these are photographs. None of them are. Some are done in black and white. By the way, it's hard to paint black and white because it's not black.
I mean, this is the first time I've seen this set, so I was pretty amazed. I didn't think it was they were drawings. You had to point that out to me, but there's some great pictures in here. Some that I have actually, you know, my own. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of neat things. I don't think some of the race fans will ever find anywhere else.
This was done for the folks in our auditorium tonight. This was done for the folks that are watching at home. This set will never go out to the general public, except for those folks who are watching QVC, with those bonus cards. And I'll tell you what it does. It gives us an opportunity to better understand a man that changed his sport, made it more fun than racing was ever designed to be, and created a town that we're standing in called Daytona. And to know that each one of these was a painting that was then photographed and turned into cardstock, and they're exact. I mean, you were talking about, you have some of these real photographs at home. You know what they look like. There's the Crown Vic. That was the very first ever car that your dad ran, the old 56 Crown Vic. There's 28 different vehicles that he drove through his career, and all of them are captured. Look at the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never been to even see one of those races up until I ran my first one, and I guess it was in 2000. So that's a lot of people find that hard to believe, but.
So what did moments like what we're about to show you right here mean when you saw it for your dad? Because you know your dad, I mean, he wanted that bad. He wanted it so bad. 34 wins at Daytona, 33, and then finally winning the Daytona 500. When he carved a 3 in the infield instead of donuts, you're a driver. How tough is that to decide what the pattern's going to be when you do the burnout?
I don't know. He was he was pretty smart about stuff like that, but he always, I guess, knew what was going to happen, so he's always prepared. But some of these pictures, just looking at them, they're like chapters, you know, throughout his life, and I can kind of remember some of the things that, you know, were going on. Like in some of these pictures are just amazing just seeing them. But
your sister is a cool lady.
Yeah.
I've met her in the past. We had a chance to work together. She used to work with Action for many, many years. We're going to go through these sets again, taking you through the early years. It's one of the subsets. That subset is going to greet you with images that I guarantee you just haven't seen. A lot of these were never, ever in books. Teresa opened up.
Trouble quite often.
So these are ways of stepping through the front door of Dale Earnhardt's life, and stepping through the door that you walk through so many millions of times, and getting to know an individual. We're here celebrating because there's just something about Dale Earnhardt and Daytona that makes sense. We've had a couple folks who had the pleasure of having these sets passed out to them. You got to hold your eyeball right up against them to see the brush strokes, because you'll swear these are photographs even after you see them at home. Yeah. They're beautiful. Let's go after one of our audience members. We've got a question for you.
How you doing? First thing I want to say is hi from all your Canadian fans.
All right.
And last year at the end of the Pepsi 400, when you were on top of Mikey's car and you guys were in the embrace, how did that feel? What were you thinking?
That was a pretty amazing moment. I was pretty surprised that Michael pulled his car down there, and then, you know, normally you go to Victory Lane and the other drivers go this way, and y'all probably won't talk till later in the next week. So, I mean, it was awesome that me and him got to share that moment together, you know, and he was just as proud to be a part of it as I was, you know, and I think that's been a lot of the key to our success at the plate races, is that when we're racing together and we run first and second, it's not I won the race. It's like we did it together, you know, and we both kind of, and we get to. I guess we take that back. We take that back to Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and that does more for the company than anything else, than us trying to race side by side for the win. If we team up and beat everybody else together, we not only do we have a better chance, but you know, it does so much for the company. It's just amazing.
Good luck on Saturday, and hopefully we'll see you there again.
I appreciate it.
And it's great to see Canadian racing. Yes, it is. I was just kind of randomly grabbing some of these cards, because it's more than just a picture lesson. We'll grab this one. It's just, what you're going to find is wonderful blurbs on the back. Here's one. Every racer's heart is a desire to be a race fan. This is it, and it's under 30 bucks. Enjoy it. It's the first time you've seen it. Worldwide television debut was today. The Dale Earnhardt Artist Series 76 card tribute set, the 5 bonus cards. If you ever see this set elsewhere, those 5 bonus cards are not going to be involved. We got a great price, $27.38. I'm glad you like that. That's heartwarming, because I love this set. Here is another idea. NASCAR driver embroidered leather crown caps. These are true leather and at $29.75. We've got a whole bunch of drivers in which to choose from. They're 822-444. And Here is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Budweiser car in a bottle. One of the neatest little collectibles we've ever seen. The 1/64 scale car is tucked inside a plastic Bud bottle that looks so real that when it was sitting on my desk at the office, I got in trouble. That's how real that thing was. $25 is the price. See 106664. Dale Earnhardt Jr., we thank you for being with us. I know you've got other things that you're doing. Your brother's coming up. We're going to talk to Kerry. We wish you the best of luck on Saturday night. And thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
again.
for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Y'all have fun with Kerry and Tony Yuri Sr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., everybody. We've got more for race fans only coming your way. We ask you hang with us. We're going to take a real quick break. We're coming back to Daytona at the Peabody Theater.
Join the club.
Get with the program.
Get in on the action.
RCCA. Sign up now. Sign up now.
Get the best.
Race fans, get the inside track on die-cast racing collectibles. Become a member of the Racing Collectibles Club of America for just $14.95 and get the power to purchase exclusive die-cast collectibles first. Call 1-800-345-1515 and order item number C103437 to become a lifetime RCCA member now and receive the 2001 Season in Review highlight video while supplies last.
Later today on QVC.
Stain-proof, cut-proof, scratch-proof, virtually indestructible. Our attractive Tough Top Counter Saver cutting board sold out in its April debut and can be yours for the introductory price of $17.94. Choose from 4 attractive designs during Kitchen Ideas this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on QVC.
You're watching QVC. Quality, value, convenience.
Well, the sun is starting to set here in Daytona Beach, Florida, but that doesn't mean the fun will end. The biggest night of racing here in the history of QVC. 3 big hours live from Daytona Beach, Florida. We are here at the Peabody Theater, and we are here with our next guest. They knew Dad as E became Big E. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is Little E. Now we got Middle E. We got Kerry Earnhardt with us, and this is a pleasure. Our first time to work together.
Yeah,
How
a
you
pleasure.
doing, man?
Enjoying it, man. It's having a good time.
This is going to be a fun program. We're going to sit and talk for about 60 minutes. We have Tony Yuri Sr. coming up, and we'll close out our show in the last hour here in Daytona. I want to introduce you to 2 products that are brand new to us. And here's an opportunity to celebrate what you've done. Now, we've got 2 different versions of cars here, and there's a good story between both. We're going to start off with your Busch ride this year with one of the superstars of NFL Hall of Fame greatness, Terry Bradshaw. Which, man, he's got to be a hoot to work with.
He is. It's a lot of fun. You know, Terry's been great for the team, and he's been very supportive, too, and kept the team motivated and kept everybody pumped up. And you know, when we're down, he's still there to push me. He's like, man, I know you can do it. Just hang in there. And, you know, that helps me out, too.
It's also just a great-looking car. This is an opportunity to support your activities in the Busch campaign, and we're also going to be talking about your ARCA car and your win that you had a while back in Michigan. But you have Armando Fitz and working together along with Terry Bradshaw to put together a team that is still a startup team, but you guys you're having some success. You're doing well.
Yeah, Armando Fitz, he was actually a linebacker for, I think it was Vanderbilt team. I'm not real familiar with that, but he's big, and you know, his father-in-law was Philip Sabatis. So that's how he got involved in racing, was through his father-in-law and everything. And then they, you know, Armando is more the business side. He works in the office every day and puts all the sponsorship together and makes sure all the equipment's there and all the parts we need and everything. And then Terry's there for, you know, emotional support and out there helping get sponsors like 1010, 220 and people like that too. So they're both tied up together.
Here's the Supercuts car. That's the Busch ride for this year. But I also want to draw your attention to this, because I'll tell you what, a real true Earnhardt fan is going to fall in love with this piece very quickly. sponsored by the Kannapolis Intimidators, a ball team that used to be the Piedmont Boll Weevils in Kannapolis. At one point, they had the winningest record in minor league baseball. The stadium that those guys play in is top-notch. I've seen Major League Baseball parks.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
it's beautiful.
This is the car that you drove to victory early on in your ARCA series at Michigan. You entered, it was 5 ARCA races and 1 3.
Yeah. And Daytona is one I didn't win because Daytona, for some reason, I've yet to finish that race. I can't figure that out. I've always wrecked here. But I don't know. We'll try to figure that out this weekend. But, you know, our first win, this deal here it means a lot more to me just for emotional side because it's something I've done with Dad and Teresa, and it was a DEI car, and he supported it 100%. And the reason it means a lot to me is because, you know, he actually helped me work on the cars and was involved with that a lot too. And that's when I got my first career win ever, was at Pocono International Speedway, and he was on the radio with me.
He was there.
That was cool.
The die-cast manufacturer, when they manufacture things like tires, they can do like 1 million of them at a time. You happen to have run on Hoosier tires in the ARCA series, and if you look closely, these are Hoosier tires on the chassis. I mean, it is absolutely identical to what you drove to victory in.
Exactly.
And it's just perfect. And what I think is beautiful about this is, and we're going to talk a lot about your career and starting out a little later than your little brother did, but a lot of drive and determination. I'm sitting next to a gentleman that's going to have a phenomenal future in motorsports. Here's a chance to get 2 cars very early on in your career. Your dad never had an opportunity to have cars early in his career even created. We're now going back and doing those.
Yeah, they didn't even think about stuff like this back then.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, you know, die-hard racing, and now it's gotten to where, you know, the fans are getting more involved in everything, and so we're trying to put stuff out here for the fans, you know, to collect and be part of and show their support.
We've got a gentleman in the audience who's got a question for you. What's your name, sir? Hey, Vince, how you doing? What's your question for Kerry Earnhardt?
I was wondering if I could drive the 10-10-220 car. I've got a buck.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to tell you, dollar doesn't buy you much anymore, sir. And
it worked for Terry, so I figured I'd try.
Terry's the one that ruined that program too, because he tore my steering wheel up. So I don't let anybody do that anymore.
Good to see you at Daytona.
Thank you.
This is great to have you here on the program. We're going to talk for the next 60 minutes. We're going to be talking to Tony Uri Sr., who I know has been an active part of the Earnhardt name for a long time. This whole weekend is just celebrating the Earnhardt name and Daytona and being able to see some things that really are a major part of where the sport is going.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, you know, and you know, like he's talking about with the Intimidator car, the Supercut car's got the Goodyear tires. So it's amazing how die-cast have come, you know, how far they've come. They're very detailed as far as the fuel cells and everything, and the engine department and the exhaust and everything. So it's pretty unique, and you know, we got stuff out there too, like hats and T-shirts and coffee mugs and key rings, and they've also got a 10-10-220 car coming out that this fella can buy and drive around in his living room there, you know?
Yep. It's got to be a kick in the pants to see the die-cast finally available. These are brand new tonight. First time we've had a chance to be able to present them in any great. The Supercuts car is brand new. We had a chance one other time to be able to promote the Kannapolis Intimidators, and that's been very popular for us. We don't have a lot of them. Pick them up while you get a chance. Kerry Earnhardt.
Well, there goes my stuff.
Last call on our today's special value. Less than 100 remain in our inventory at this particular point. You want to get it while you can. 20,004 were created. We are now, again, down to just our last few. Pick it up. Nice piece. Also, still available. Now, this is the same set, but done in a way that brings to it a 1/64 scaling. At $29.75, both are done in color chrome, just like what we had before, but a little bit smaller. Great price. $88.88 is the worldwide production number on that one. We want to introduce you to something a little different. It's amazing how even racing caps have changed over the years from the days when they were, you know, very simple. I'll give you this one. You get to put that one on, make that one comfortable for you. I'll grab your brother's. These are the new embroidered leather crown hats at $29.75. They're a 22444.
Where's my Harley?
I'm telling you, you guys, you Earnhardts just know how to duck bill a cap perfectly. They're really comfortable. They are probably the best looking caps that we... There you go.
Nah, this is better.
He's got his own style, but you got your own style too.
Yeah.
Let's run through the list of all the different caps that we've got, because we've got your brothers, we've got Dad's with the 7-time champions. And by the way, there's got to be thousands of stitches on Dad's cap, because it has every year the 7 championships. It's got the Dale Earnhardt reproduction signature. We have a lot of different styles that are available. We've got a Bobby Labonte, a Tony Stewart, we've got a Rusty Wallace for you. We have Kevin Harvick. You know what, let me pick them up and show them all to you. That way everybody gets a chance to see them. But there's the Interstate Batteries cap for Bobby Labonte. That one is available. Here's the Tony Stewart cap. And we were reporting earlier that there's quite a bit of rumor that we're going to see Joe Gibbs Racing potentially go from Pontiac to Chevrolet.
Yep.
Coming up next year.
They're working on some stuff. I don't know how close it is, or if they're going to go that way, but I've heard rumors.
And again, at this point of the year, everything is considered conjecture and rumor, yeah. There's the number 2 for Rusty Wallace. Here's the Kevin Harvick hat with the Good Wrench service. And again, supporting Richard Childress Racing. We then have Dodge Motorsports.
We call that an Everham hat, can't we?
Yeah, it basically is the Everham hat.
Pretty much at Dodge all the way.
We have a Ricky Rudd cap, and Ricky Rudd stuff has been really tough to get a hold of. And with his win out in Sonoma, this is one that you might want to consider picking up. And then again, we've got Dale Earnhardt Jr., and then we've got Dale. Great looking caps. We got a member of our audience who's got a question for you, Kerry, so we'll go back to our audience. Jeremy, how you doing, man?
Good.
What's your question?
I would like to ask you what your favorite racetrack is.
My favorite racetrack is, well, anyone I could go to and race at mainly, but I really favor Pocono because that's where I got my first win, and you know, like we mentioned with Dad and Teresa was able to be in Victor Lane with me. It's still, you know, set in my mind and my heart, so that's one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Great question. And Pocono is kind of the duck-billed platypus of NASCAR tracks. It is a bizarre track. It's weird banking, extremely long, rather bizarre shaping, and it's a tough track for even some of the Winston Cup guys.
It was kind of neat. I'd never been there, so Dale Jr. was going there and testing his Cup car, and you know, Dad thought it was a great idea to just throw my ARCA car on the truck with Junior's Cup car and go down there and test. And so we did that and went down there, and you know, I'd run around there a little bit, and then Dale Jr. would come over and talk and say, man, you got to start shifting. Shift? You know, what do you mean shifting? So he started explaining shifting. I went out and done it, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty neat. But the first time I went on that track, I went down to, after you go across start finish line, you go through turn 1 and 2, and you go through that little short chute.
Getting ready for a hard left-hander in a wall.
Back track, and I mean the back stretch, and then you go into that tunnel turn. Well, down the back stretch, there was like 3 turkeys on the wall. And, you know, I got excited about that.
Just wild turkeys sitting there?
Yeah, just sitting on the wall.
It's kind of, it's in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's a great place. The folks who run that are some of the nicest people in NASCAR, but it is an unusual track.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I come back in, they trying to figure out what they're trying to get my shotgun, you know.
To get the turkeys.
I got back there, they wasn't there, so I'm a big outdoor avid, so.
Here's a chance to pick up leather crown caps, genuine leather at a price of under $30. Again, a wide variety of drivers currently available to you. Great item. A little later on, we're going to be talking about this one, and this is a wonderful collector's piece, and we don't have many left. About 2,000 remain in the worldwide inventory, and at this point, I don't know if we're going to be able to go back and even get more of them into the inventory. Here is the Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. pearlized Oreo cars. We understand the legacy of that number 3, and to see the Earnhardt name back in it once again, $151.86 for race fans only exclusive. Here is the update. If you are on the phone lines for our today's special value, stay put. Don't hang up because you'll miss out. Here is the final call and the sold out sign on our today's special value. We still have it available on 1/64 scale. The car that we did for the today's special value, we did in color chrome. Here is the car from the folks at Action Performance, absolutely like it's going to be seen, coming up this Saturday night, running here in Daytona for the running of the Pepsi 400. It's a great looking car.
It is sharp. Look at that baseball bat on the side.
Yeah, that is pretty neat. Let me go ahead and swing it around so that we can show that. Your brothers had a lot of success, a little younger than you, and yet there doesn't seem to be a sibling rivalry between you two at all. There's no animosity, no jealousy. You guys are just really tight, and yet you really didn't have an opportunity to build a relationship with Junior until he was a little older.
Yeah, you know, we weren't really together until I was about 16, I believe I was, and I think he was like around 11 or 12 years old, and you know, that's when we actually started hanging out, not really hanging out, just getting to know each other, and it was kind of like, you know, you know, I was a little older, and I kind of understood stuff, and he was, you know, 11, 12 years old. You kind of have that defensive, you know, deal that you kind of cautious with, and he was like he wasn't really sure of what was happening with me coming back in the world and everything, but it's all worked out. You know, it's been great. We're closer than any other brothers I know of out here, you know, me and Kelly's real close too. So, you know, it's been kind of a different life, but it's been one I really appreciate.
Well, so far today, when we kicked off at 12 midnight, we had an opportunity. We had Kelly on the air. She's a hoot. Man, she's a funny lady, a real sweetheart.
I heard she was nervous.
And I heard, you know, she said she was, but she didn't look like it. She's a lot like Dad in a whole bunch of ways.
For her to be nervous is a lot, because she's a pretty tough lady.
Yes, she is. We've got another audience question. What's your name? What's your question for Kerry?
My name's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
First of all, I'd like to salute you and all the Earnhardt family. You did us all proud. We all love you.
Thank you.
The question I have for you tonight is, other than your dad, who are your mentors and who are your favorite drivers, either current or past?
Great question.
That is a good question. All of them are great guys. You know, I'm able to go and talk to any one of them. You know, but I'm had to say Jeff Burton has been one that I've gone to the most and just talked to, asked questions and about certain things at the track, and he's been straight up and honest and helped me a lot as far as, you know, how I'm approaching the corners or the lines I'm running, because he'll get out there and he'll be in front of me and he'll slow down, wait on me, and get behind me and follow me, and then he'll come in and talk to me and tell me things I'm doing. So, yeah, he's a great guy, and his brother Ward, you know, I've talked to him occasionally, but Jeff Burton has been the one that's really helped me the most.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Great question. And that's done just purely out of Jeff's personality.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no business relationship connecting that says he's got to do that.
Not at all. You know,
it's the type of guy he is.
It's it, and they're all like that. Like I said, you know, they won't help each other, because especially a rookie, they don't want a rookie out there making mistakes and tearing their car up too. So
yeah, it makes sense. Tonight we celebrate what's coming up on Saturday night, and last year, by far one of the most emotionally important evenings of racing was when your younger brother won the race going back to Daytona. And this year, it's going to be equally as emotional. It's one of the most dramatic nights, because Daytona under the lights is not like Daytona 500. It's a different beast in every way, shape, and form. Here's the car exactly as we're going to be seeing it. Beautifully done in that bright red. It's a one-race deal. And the car you see here in red is the same chassis that he ran in the white car last year and won. Also won at Talladega in October, won again in the spring. So the last 4 restrictor plate races, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won 3 of them.
yeah, and Michael won the other one, didn't he?
Michael won the other one, yeah, so it's working out pretty well.
Dale Earnhardt Incorporated won all of them.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you guys, that's a nice little sweep of restrictor plate racing.
Yeah,
Junior said if he were a betting man, he knows that, you know, it's not a bad idea to consider the number 8 in victory lane once again. Car seems to be running really well. You have had an opportunity to race in Winston Cup. Now, this was a cool story, because it hadn't happened in, I think it was like 40-some-odd years with the Pettys, that there was a father and 2 sons when you went to Michigan a little while back.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I can brag about one thing. I did out-qualify Dad.
Yep.
I didn't last as long as he did, but I did out-qualify him. Yeah, we went down there, and the first round qualifying, I kind of messed up in turn 3, and I kept having trouble with that corner all day, and knew what I was doing was just overdriving it, and I knew I was going to have that trouble. So, and then the second day, you know, we went out there, and he kind of chewed me out a little bit that evening about the way I was approaching the corners and stuff. And so we went out there the second day and qualified, you know, fastest, you know, second round. Well, I actually tied, I can't remember, I tied someone for fastest second round, and he ended up getting a spot because he had points and I didn't. And we started 27th, and the car was real loose. Ended up, I think about 6 laps, 5.5 laps, something like that. I can't remember. It was 5.5 laps. We ended up spinning out in turn 3 and got collected by another car. I think it was Andy Houston, and Dad, he was just all over me about that after the race.
But it was good enough to put you in the record books again. It had to be a wonderful feeling to see
Yeah,
people
it was.
in the same field.
You know, it was great to be able to actually be able to make a race, a cup race with Dad and Dale Jr. both in it, and I'm glad I've had that opportunity now, especially. So, you know, it was a good feeling to know that I could do that.
Well, I'll tell you.
Especially coming up, going into a Talladega race in October.
We've got a gentleman in the audience who's got a question for you. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, Kerry.
Hey, Matthew, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Great.
I was just wondering, how would you feel if you raced in the Winston Cup with your brother?
Is that a goal full-time for you?
It's going to be, eventually it's going to happen. In October, actually, this year at Talladega, we're running a cup race. And it'll be with Dale Jr. in the race, too. And it's going to be a neat deal. So it's a lot of fun to be able to run against family members, but they're also a competitor, too. So we had to keep that in mind also.
Are you looking forward to it?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I sure am.
So am I.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Good question.
Great question.
Here's your opportunity again to pick up the car as it will be seen on the track. You've seen some specialty designs that were created just for the For Race Fans Only show. The platinum car sold out. The gold car is almost completely gone. Here is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Major League Baseball All-Star car for 2002, the running of the Pepsi 400. You've got a lot of neat things still coming your way. Here is the All-Star car in gold, 24-karat gold plate. One factor about this one, very limited production numbers.
Oh, it opens from the bottom.
Yeah, is this cool? We'll show this one coming up next. 2,508 were created, and that's it. It's C107624. And here is that Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. Perlite Oreo set with the litho. Two-car set created just for this program. I remind you of this one because they're getting very limited. We have, I believe, less than 2,000 that were available in the inventory when we started tonight. Less than that right now, 151.86. It's a pretty night outside.
Beautiful. That's what I was looking at that there on the screen.
There it is, Daytona Beach, Florida, under the lights. It's going to be that type of environment, but when things heat up for Saturday night, it's going to be a lot different. I mean, when we've got the Winston Cup guys going at it for the Pepsi 400, this is one of the most unique and different collectibles that we've ever offered on the program. This thing, you know what?
You know what's unique and different about it?
What's that?
It opens from the bottom.
It opens from the bottom. Let me unplug our little rotator here. This thing was so realistic that when I had it at work, it almost got me in trouble. You unscrew the bottom.
Don't spill any.
Yeah, no, it actually, it does. If you look at it in the light, it does look full.
It looks like it has some in it.
You unscrew the bottom, and here is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s traditional paint for 2002, and it slides right in here. Now, I want to point out, this is very important, Budweiser, as are the other beverage companies that are involved in motorsports that are adult beverages, very responsible sponsors. This is not a toy. This isn't designed to be sitting on the bookshelf of one of the youngsters that are race fans for Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is purely an adult collectible, and enjoy it. Put it out. You've got something that's a little bit different, but to be able to find something that looks that realistic, the key here at $25 for them to design this faux bottle so that it looks full. It's kind of neat the way they did it. And the thing does look like it's got brew in it, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Even down to the bottle cap, it is absolutely identical to the King of Beers. And Budweiser, of course, the official beer of NASCAR, also the official beer of Major League Baseball, which is what we're going to be talking about coming up Saturday night.
They're involved in a lot of events out here, and you know, Budweiser's big in helping everybody. So
you have sponsors of your own. I mean, you started out earlier in your life with obviously some interest involved in racing, but you took a little bit different path. You had a family at an early age and made the dedication to make sure you were putting food on the table for that family and working, and racing came to you kind of as a hobby. You now have sponsors that you got to report to and kind of the schedule that is very similar to the Winston Cup guys. What's that like for you? Different to get used to?
No, it is definitely different. You know, like you said, I started a family early in life at 18 and really wasn't able to get real serious about racing because I was wanting to make sure that they had what they needed, so I worked 2 jobs and put food on the table and roof over the head. And now that I've gotten the family life squared away with you know, new wife Renee, and know that the kids are, you know, taken care of. You know, don't have to worry about them or anything. So now I can go out and focus on all that. But you know, now it's just run every week, and get home and try to catch up on mowing the yard. Well, bush hogging the yard, and yeah, do stuff around the house. But it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and you know, I'm just glad I'm able to be here and be racing now instead of. This is something I love doing. You know, I worked in textiles. I pumped gas and changed oil in service stations and fixed pizzas at Pizza Hut. And the only thing that was really fun was fixing pizza at Pizza Hut because you got a lot of playing around, a lot to eat. Yeah, I really didn't have anything I really enjoyed until I started racing.
You've got a lot of pride in what you've seen from your brother as well. We're going to talk about that coming up in the next product. This is almost completely sold out, a truly unique collectible, again, designed purely for moms and dads. It is the adult collectible Budweiser bottle from Dale Earnhardt Jr., $25. That's a neat item. I like that. Coming up, we want to point out that the gold car is very, very popular. We started off with 2,508. This is a for race fans only exclusive. It is part of our premium, what we refer to as our precious metals series. $133.50. That is the Major League Baseball All-Star car that we'll see coming up this weekend at Daytona. See 107624. And the Dale Earnhardt Major League Baseball 2 bear, All-Star design, $23.50. Any bear we've ever done with your brother has been hugely popular. This is C20716, worldwide debut right here, right now. We're going to take a real quick break here in Daytona, but we're coming back to the Peabody Auditorium. We've got more with Kerry Earnhardt. We've got more with Tony Uri Sr. coming up in just a little bit. Stay with us. Come right back. All right.
You may want to order early because our 7-inch textured and domed Byzantine bracelet sold out in yellow gold the last 2 times it was offered. We have it in 14-karat white gold as well, so make a date to join us for the 4-hour gold rush this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to take this showstopper home while it's still introductory priced at just $147.48.
Celebrate a decade of Hollywood glamour from designer Nolan Miller. Join QVC this weekend to celebrate Nolan Miller's 10th anniversary of dazzling fashion jewelry designs on QVC with 3 specials and low anniversary prices on select items. Use your Q card for purchases and make no payments and accrue no finance charges until October 2002. Don't miss the 10th anniversary celebration of Nolan Miller's Glamour Collection. 7 total hours this Saturday and Sunday, available only at Nolan's Beverly Hills Salon and QVC.
Welcome back, everybody. That's the QVC Local. That is our home away from home when we're on the road. You're here live in Daytona Beach, Florida with us for another edition of For Race Fans Only. Tonight is the biggest show of our year so far. 3 hours broadcasting from right here in Daytona at the Peabody Auditorium. Tonight, our guests all have a direct relationship with the Earnhardt name. 2 of them share it. One of them is also, he may not have the Earnhardt name, but he's still family.
We've
got Tony Uri Sr. with us coming up a little bit later on. Right now, we're talking with Kerry Earnhardt, working with the folks at Supercuts, the number 12, Terry Bradshaw. That's a great team. You guys are doing all right.
Supercuts, and we have also one of my favorite ones. I've always wanted a Hot Rod with flames on the hood. So now I've got that with Jenny King.
Yep.
And then Hot Tamales.
Coming together, man.
Love them.
Coming together.
And, 10-10-220.
We want to introduce you to a piece that if you have not had the chance to see in the past, tonight may very well be one of the last chances to get it. We've had over 36,000 of you who have picked this up since we first made it available earlier this year. It is one of the most pressing tribute pieces that we've ever done. We want to update you. The Dale Earnhardt Jr. Budweiser car in a bottle. That just sold out at $25. You're going to see a lot of sold out signs tonight. Bill Purdom is one of the world's best-known sports artists. He's got 70 different pieces in the Hall of Fame Museum in Cooperstown for baseball buffs. He did a lithograph that was commissioned just by Dale Earnhardt Incorporated for this piece. And then together with the folks at Action Performance and Brookfield Collectors Guild, we put together a 2-car set That is a wonderful tribute. I'm going to open this thing up.
Can you get them out and play with them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
This is all solid hardwood case, and Kerry, I'll have you pull them out.
Look at that.
The two cars that are involved here, one of them is your brother's, which was the number 3 that he drove in the Busch race earlier this year. And then this one, which, man, you're taller than me. Let me go ahead and hold this one up. Here's the car that your dad piloted in the Bud Shootout in 2001.
Yeah, both got Oreos on them.
Both got Oreos on them. And to build that connection again with the number 3 and the name Earnhardt right up here at the roofline is pretty special indeed. Let me borrow that one. Richard Childress came together with Junior earlier this year and said, man, let's do something. And to put the name Earnhardt together back in the 3, and here's the differentiation. It's very small, you might not see it, but it's right there. That tiny little script JR for Junior. Richard Childress, Richard Childress had helped out because DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, pretty much has sold off most of their Busch campaign at this point. They're not doing a lot of Busch.
Not yet.
Not yet. I like the way you said that.
Well, there's some stuff in the works.
Yep. So Richard Childress came to bat, put together the car, put together the crew, and it was just a phenomenal success. This is the car that took the Busch race in Daytona, and to get both of them in a pearlized paint that you won't find anywhere else. Yeah, this year. That's beautiful. That is pretty cool. Growing up, again, you met Junior a little later on in your life because, I mean, you were Dale's, I got to figure this out. Dale's first wife is your mom.
Yes.
Dale's second wife is Junior and Kelly.
Junior and Kelly.
So you got to know him. You guys actually lived together at one point. I mean, you became real tight. You guys are best of buddies. There's got to be a tremendous amount of pride that you have in seeing what he's been able to do in a short period of time behind the wheel of a race car.
A whole lot, man. I mean, for him to accomplish what he has, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, no one's the same. You know, Dad's done a whole lot in racing. Dale Jr.'s done a lot in racing. And hopefully I could do a little bit in racing, you know, at least a little bit. So, yeah, he's done an awesome job. He won 2 championships in the Busch Series, and he's gone in and won a lot of cup races and some hard cup races too at that, being with Daytona and Talladega, and then he come back into Busch and won the Busch race again.
Yep.
So, you know, he's just done an outstanding job, and really, I've enjoyed being able to see him grow up, you know, and what I mean by that is like I said, I come in like 11, 12 years old, and you see the kid side, and then now you see the adult side, and the responsibilities he's taking on, and, you know, and just big change.
It's been fun to watch, a lot of fun. We've got a gentleman in the audience with a question. Chuck, what's your question for Kerry Earnhardt?
Kerry, want to know how it felt to have that 7th place finish 2 weeks ago, and also we thought you were going to have at least a 5th place finish last week.
Yeah, I did too. But no, the 7th place finish was good. It felt real good actually, because that was the best finish this year. And then I'll tell you, it was amazing how well my car would run last week at Milwaukee on last Sunday, actually, this past Sunday at Milwaukee. I could pass on bottom, top, wherever, and I had some horsepower under the hood too. And that helped pull me down the straightaway. Once I got on the outside or underneath them, I could just leave them. And,
yeah, you're looking good.
Wave at them when I went by, but yeah, we had a little incident there before halfway that ended up messing, you know, ruining our race, and you know, things like that happen. You know, I know he didn't mean to do it, but you know, there's some times when you have to stop and think a minute and realize that you have certain spots that you can pass and can't pass, and you know, there's issues that needs to be looked at, and maybe, you know, someone will help him think about them things later down the road. You know, that's like my spotter. My spotter told me, man, you know your car's loose, work them on the outside. You know, you're good on that side. And you know, that's where a spotter comes in hand too. So, you know, you say the driver done it, but yet the spotter needs to talk to them and help keep them calm too. So, you know, there's things that a lot of people don't really realize that happen in racing. Everybody thinks it's all the driver, but I mean, yeah, the driver did it, but the spotter could help out too. So,
yeah.
but it was a good field.
We've noticed that you have some pretty consistent. You've had a pretty consistent year this year too.
Yeah, well, up and down a little bit. You know, it's getting more consistent now. Especially, you know, like I said, the last few races we've been finishing and running well, and we're real excited about this weekend. If we could just finish this race, we'll have a good run because we've had a good car both races here at Daytona and at Talladega when we got caught up in the big one. And, we were real fast, and I know we're going to have a fast car for this weekend. Qualifying might be a little iffy because for some reason I can't qualify, but I sure can race.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And there is a definitive learning curve. I mean, for you being in this full time, again, the success you had in ARCA just blew people away. Enter 5 races in a year, win 3 of the 5, and sit out most of the season in between.
Yeah.
This is really your first opportunity for a full schedule to be able to prove what you can do.
It is.
And it's a new team.
And it's a great team. I mean, like I said, we've got Bob Temple being the crew chief and Eddie Buffin the car chief, and the rest of the guys, I can say her name them all, but and the rest of the guys in the shop are working hard, and Fab guys working hard, getting the cars prepared during the week, and even the girls in the office keeping things organized. So, Mondo, he's very loyal to the team, dedicated to the team, and works hard at keeping stuff together around the shop, and just keeps it all put together. And it's just, every day is just better and better.
This is a piece that I really urge you to consider. It is one of the nicest tribute pieces I've ever seen. Officially licensed by Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. The folks at Action Performance and Brookfield Collectors Guild created it just for us. Here it is, $27. Here is the Artist Series. The Artist Series is available. That is the brand new 76 card set that Bill Purdom created, that instead of photographs, they're actually done as little lithographs. They're paintings. The item number is C19626. Already tonight, we've had, how many has it been, Jen? 14,000 of these have been ordered so far today. Don't miss out on them at $27.38.
Those are neat set. I was looking at that while ago, and it's got from when he was a little kid on up.
Yeah, and some of those are just completely different. By the way, in the history of Monopoly, the single most popular board game in the world, never ever had one Monopoly game been done for one guy. Didn't do one for Elvis, they didn't do one for Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, or anybody else, but they did one for Dad.
Yep.
And here is the Dale Earnhardt Monopoly Collector's Edition at $34.75. If you're just tuning in, you picked a great time to do so, because we're actually just about halfway through a 3-hour broadcast here in Daytona, and we're broadcasting for the Peabody Auditorium. We got a lot of folks here, and we celebrate the Earnhardt name. Dale Jr. was with us earlier. He had a prior engagement, so he had to kind of skedaddle at 9 o'clock. Kerry Earnhardt is with us, and this is a pleasure to have you on the program. It's the first time we've had a chance
I'm
to really
enjoying
work
this,
together.
man. It's the first time. I was really looking forward to it, and whenever JR mentioned something about doing this, and set it up, I'm ready.
Let's do it. We had Kelly on the air at 12 midnight, so we've had you, Kelly, Dale Jr. We've got Tony Uri Sr. coming up a little bit later on, the car chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. And we're just having fun. Here is something that we're just really pleased to get back in inventory, because it sold out. First time it was on, it was really tough to get back in. It's the Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator, full-color mini hood from the folks at High Rev. It's $39.96. Item number C20098. First thing to tell you, High Rev created and then patented a process where they could print photography on metal. That sounds kind of simple, but it's not. It's a real tough task in which to do. But these are 30-gauge aluminum hoods, and you can hear how solid they are. They really look nice when you hang them up in the game room or you have a place to put them. And the imagery just keeps getting better and better and better. And there's only one company that can do it, and that's the folks at High Rev in Charlotte. Your dad was known as the Intimidator. Was he intimidating sometimes as a dad? I mean,
all the time.
All the time.
I mean, of course, I'm sure every dad is to to their kids, but it's part of growing up and learning. I mean, every time he'd tell me something or show me something, I'm like, no, that's not how it's done. It's wrong. But it was right.
Turned out to be right.
Oh yes.
Junior was talking about that a little earlier. Was there any outside of racing, any particular wisdom that you think he granted you? From times when you had a chance to just kind of talk one-on-one?
I think just the value of life, with your family, it was the key issue of your life is your family. And, it's been kind of hard with me being gone on the road a lot and stuff. It's been kind of hard with the kids, but I'm trying now, when I'm at home, I forget about the yard. Take the kids fishing or do stuff with them, you know, ride the four-wheelers. Or
How old are the kids now, Kerry?
Well, our little girl's 9, and
she's 9 already.
9 years old.
How'd that happen,
Going
man?
on 20.
I remember, yeah. I remember she was really tiny.
Yeah. And then you know, our youngest boy is 13, and the oldest one's 14, fixing to be 15.
Uh-huh.
He finished driver's ed. He's getting ready to get his license, driver's ed, learner's permit. That's what they call it.
Is that a little scary for Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is for every dad.
The car he's got that he's supposed to be, I think, supposed to be driving is up on jack stands in the garage, broke down.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll work on it. As soon as he gets that permit, he'll be ready.
Well, maybe something else will break.
I understand. We've got a young audience member. What's your question for Kerry?
Did you always want to be a NASCAR driver?
And that's Sarah who just asked. Did you always want to be a NASCAR driver?
Sir, you know, like I said, I didn't really grow up around racing as far as being around the shops or anything, so I really didn't know a lot about racing. I grew up and I worked, you know, at like Pizza Hut, like I said, and I worked at Fieldcrest Cannon, which is textile plants, and after, you know, I guess I was about 17, I started getting interested in racing, watching racing, and you know, hanging out at the shops. Now that I had my license and I could drive to the shops and everything. So when I was about 20 to 21 years old is whenever I started thinking I wanted to drive a race car. And I started driving at 22.
It's a good question, Sarah.
Nice question.
And for Sarah's benefit and for the folks here in our audience and the folks at home, we're going to talk a little bit about the beginning days, because you used to actually share a race car with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yes.
That you basically built in the backyard. We'll talk about that and a lot more as we kind of take you behind the scenes in the Earnhardt name. This is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. full color graphic hood. Now this one is much bigger than the mini hood that we just showed you. It's actually a quarter scale hood, and it priced at $79.75. The item number is C20565.
My manager. You call her a manager?
We then have Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Major League Baseball All-Star Apparel. These are brand new, first time that they've been available anywhere. Tonight was the national television debut. And then the cap is priced at $25 and the t-shirt's priced at $20. We got a lot of cool stuff in the program tonight.
That's neat. You know what?
Is that not
I
the
think we
next
need to
little
talk next.
thing? We've got some things that we're going to talk about coming up that are completely different. You're seeing what, in television they call it a bump shot. It's an opportunity for you to see what's going outside. Right here in Daytona Beach, Florida, we're broadcasting from the Peabody Auditorium. Tonight, our guest, Kerry Earnhardt. I'm telling you again, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Mine too,
It really
man.
is.
I'm just here thinking. Thank y'all.
These are different.
They are. I'm sitting here thinking, I mean, we've got the Supercuts car out there. Why can't we have one that's clear and colored like that?
We could probably work it out. For a lot of people, these are brand new. They've never
them
been
guys
seen
ain't no
before.
different than I am. Just dirt and cup. No, that's actually a Busch car. So.
Is that kind of cool? Here's one side. This happens to be the Nilla Wafer car that Dale Jr. drove in Charlotte for the Busch race. Half of it looks just like the car on the track. Here's the amazing part. The other half is completely see-through. You can see all the detail work for the roll cage, which you normally cannot see in die-cast. You're going to see the interior strut work. You see the gauges, the hoses. You're going to see air ducts. Underneath the hood, you're going to see things that you don't normally get a chance to see. And underneath, on each one of these, is the Elite-style chassis. And that's the most heavily detailed chassis in all of die-cast. And you're going to see little things like, let me get this over here. You're going to see springs. You see the actual drivetrain. It might be easier to see the springs back here in the back, guys. I apologize. I'm trying to have it. There they go. There's the little springs right underneath there. The Elite Series and the chassis are only available to members of the RCCA, which is the private collectors club from the folks at Action Performance. And I just by chance happen to have one of their catalogs right here. When you join their club for $14.95 for a lifetime membership, it opens up a whole world of different collectibles to you. But we've got such a great working relationship between QVC, for race fans only, and these folks that when you place an order for one of the club pieces, you're actually going to talk to a QVC operator. That's what we do best, is helping you to get your products where you want them. So the back end of that, and the good part is every once in a while we get our hands on some of these pieces. I want to show you two of them that are really special, and they're right here. These are specialty paint schemes for Jeff Gordon with the Talladega Pepsi ride, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the Nilla Wafer ride in Busch at Charlotte. Those are priced at $58, and they're a limited edition size of only 3,000 that were ever made. We then also have some other cars that are available. We have the DuPont 200th anniversary car for Jeff Gordon. That one is available. That one is also priced at $58. But then we have traditional paint for Tony Stewart. We then also, thank you, Kerry. We have Kevin Harvick with the Good Wrench colors on one side and clear on the other. And then we have Rusty Wallace's, and Rusty's is on a solid plastic base because it is a brewery sponsorship, and this is, again, not designed to be a toy. But this is the closest that most of us ever get a chance to crawl through the window netting and see the real interior of a race car. They did a nice job on it.
I mean, like I say, it's detailed. I mean, they even got the screw jacks, everything in there.
Screw jacks are right back here. When you guys are running into a situation where the car's running a little too tight, a little too loose, they can actually adjust the way the car flexes in the turns, correct?
Adjust the wedge or the track bar, or help the car turn, or help it not turn.
One round of that wedge, and you actually feel the difference.
Oh yes, a lot.
I mean, it makes a huge difference.
Especially if I go the wrong way.
That's a good point. George is standing by in the audience, and we've got an audience question for you. George, how you doing tonight?
Hi, how you doing? I was just wondering, what other sports do you enjoy? Like, what are your other hobbies besides racing?
Yeah, what do you do outside of racing?
You know, I'm
hunt.
a big outdoorsman. I love fishing and hunting. I love being in the woods. Look at George back there getting pretty. I like going to Supercuts and getting my style.
Thank you, right?
But yeah, I'm big into I'm mostly into hunting and fishing, and you know, I like to tinker with some old cars around the shop. Like my father-in-law's got a '67 Chevelle, I think it is, Super Sport. I'm getting ready to take and strip it all the way down and restore it. And,
that's cool.
So
yeah, I like the Mustangs, like 1966 Mustangs.
Mustangs.
Those are nice.
That's Ford.
Yeah, you can't mention the Ford stuff tonight.
Oh, I didn't think.
Just kidding.
No, they're nice too. They're nice cars.
I don't know. All right, cool. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question, George. You've done a lot of work under the hood of race cars. I mean, you've done a lot of work in general on vehicles. Is there one particular car that you would have to say is your all-time favorite car? And I'm not talking race cars. I mean, if you had the ultimate car to drive.
I like, I've always wanted a '67 Camaro. It's just because it's the first year they came out with Camaros, and it had the only one with bent windows. And,
yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
It's just, I don't know, it's just an eye catcher to me, but it seems that the '69s are more popular than anything, and wife, she really liked the '69s, so that's what we've got now.
So it doesn't matter how much success you get.
That
you still
wife
have that
word,
veto power. Yeah, I know that. I know it well. Here's a chance for all of us to be able to climb underneath the hood, right through the chassis, into the cockpit, and really see all the little ins and outs of a NASCAR, either Winston Cup car, or in this case, a Busch Grand National car. But these are completely unique, and I want to give you the actual edition sizes because they are minuscule. When we talk about the Jeff Gordon DuPont 200th anniversary car, there were only 3,000 that were ever made. For the Nilla Wafer car that I'm holding up here, again, 3,000 that were made. All others in our collection, the Tony Stewart Home Depot, the Rusty Wallace Miller Lite, Jeff Gordon Pepsi Talladega car, and the Kevin Harvick GM Goodwrench, there were only on those 2,508 that were created. And those are worldwide editions. So when they're gone, and we certainly didn't get all of them for our program tonight. $58 for the specialty paints, $55 for what would be traditional paint, if you will. But you get a chance to pick up something that was only made available to the folks of the RCCA, the Private Collectors Club. Here's your chance to have one, if nothing else, an opportunity to see what the club has to produce, because they have really made some beautiful things. We got some other things that are coming up a little bit later on tonight. Tony Uri Sr. is going to be with us as we continue our live broadcast from Daytona. And that man, if anybody knows the Earnhardt family, it's got to be the Uris.
Inside and out.
Inside and out. And he is the car chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now there's a title of car chief, which is a little different than crew chief. He's got the overall boss, if you will, in the shop. His son, Tony Uri Jr., is Dale Jr.'s crew chief. So it works out pretty well. And he's known Dale Jr. since he was, in diapers.
Well, they're kin.
Yeah. It's going to be a great interview. I'm looking forward to that.
I'll have to sit back and watch that.
Yeah. With racing being such an active part of your life, and with you kind of coming into the scene of racing a little late in your life, are things progressing the way you want them to? Are you headed in the direction that you want to head in?
Yeah, of course, I'd like to be a little further ahead than what I am right now. But, I'm having some difficult times at some tracks, and we're we're gaining on that. We're learning and getting better.
I'm going to ask you to finish the rest of that question because I hear music. We're going to wrap up on this, but we've got some other great things coming your way. The NASCAR 2002 driver 124 scale with a clear panel cars. See 20734. Still available, Kerry Earnhardt's Kannapolis Intimidators car, available for $54.75. That's the car that he won in ARCA competition with, and it's just a great-looking car. Kannapolis Intimidators, a ball team that your dad helped to bring to fruition, along with some other folks in the racing community. Also, the Supercuts car. There's less than 4 dozen of those remaining, so get them while you can. Here's a for race fans only exclusive 16-car die-cast display units at $99.50. It's a great way of being able to display your die-cast inside the living room instead of down in the basement like I used to have to do.
Or in boxes.
Or in boxes. We all have a lot of those. Terry, thanks for helping me out on this.
Oh,
this
yes.
thing is huge. This is one of the biggest. It's still called a mini hood, but it's a quarter-scale hood that if we were to blow this thing up 4 times the size, it would pretty much fit your race car or your brother's race car. This is the brand new one. This is the one that depicts Dale Earnhardt Jr. We've got the great big number 8. You can actually see the ridges in this, and this is all metal construction. It's not done in plastic. It's $79.75. That's just a cool looking piece.
It's a cool piece, stout piece too. I mean,
yeah,
it'll hold up. Pretty durable.
This is all 30 gauge aluminum. You hang it up on the wall and you've got something that will pretty much dominate the wall and have your display looking very, very nice. We're going to talk more about this, but we've got a young lady in the audience who's got a question for you. Lindsay, how are you?
Good.
Hi. What's your question for Kerry?
What is it like working with Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw is, you know, we've done them commercials like out in L.A. and at Texas with the 10-10-220 and stuff, and doing take after take after take could really get boring, but it was always fun waiting to see what Terry was going to say next, you know, because he was always cutting up and playing around, and he's a great guy to hang out with.
Good question, Lindsay. He, as a football superstar, he's in the Hall of Fame. He drove the Pittsburgh Steelers. But one of the things, I mean, as much of a cut-up as he is also a remarkably astute businessman.
Big time.
And he's made quite a bit of success in his professional career outside of football. And we know a lot of professional athletes that when the days for the sport end, don't necessarily do as well. They end as well, yeah. And this guy doesn't make mistakes.
No, he keeps on going. He's got a real nice horse ranch up in Texas, and he's big on motivational speeches. He goes around, does a lot of speeches, seminars and stuff, and then he's still tied in with the NFL, with the Fox, you know, doing the broadcasting.
How did you guys get hooked up? How did that relationship first begin, where you became the driver for Terry Bradshaw?
You know, Terry's always been a race fan, and he's always liked racing and everything. And I guess him and Armando met up one time, and you know, they got to become buddies and do the racing series. And then Terry mentioned one day about maybe getting involved in the race team, and Armando thought it'd be great since he was a big football player and everything, that they'd team up together, and it all came about.
And how was it that you became the driver for the teams, Terry?
Well, Ty Norris, which is actually works over at DEI, he kind of knew Armando a little bit, and Ty went and talked to Armando and helped me out a whole lot as far as getting the ride, and you know, kept pushing my name to him and kept talking to him about it, and finally he decided to give me the opportunity, and that's where we're at.
Ty Norris is one of those guys that you don't necessarily hear a whole heck of a lot about because he's not a driver, but he's one of these guys that the sport wouldn't thrive without.
Yeah, he is.
Phenomenal amount of knowledge in that.
You know, outside of the crew chiefs and everything over there at DEI working on the cars, Ty is the one that actually, you know, puts that stuff together.
Yep.
So, you know, with sponsors, taking care of them, make sure everything's good there, and then inside the organization, he's involved with a lot of things inside too.
The hood that we're holding up is one of the biggest hoods we have ever offered here on the air. It's not like the regular mini hoods. This thing is enormous. It's basically about 29.5 inches in width from side to side, and it's going to be about 17 inches for the overall height. It is so new that it's advanced orders only. They are actually coming into our facilities in Westchester, Pennsylvania very shortly. We will ship them on the actual release date, which is the 17th of July. And then they will come to you, and you'll have them in roughly about 7 days thereafter. Wonderful idea as a gift. It's the perfect way of decorating a room as a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. Less than 100 remain, and that's all we've got. It may be all we can get for quite some time. These are brand new national releases from the folks at High Rev, the quarter-size metal hoods. The Dale Earnhardt HO scale train set at $299. That is one of the most all-encompassing pieces of 1/64 scale die-cast because it includes so many of the specialty rides that Dale Earnhardt made famous in his phenomenal career. Item number C106599. And still available, here is, again, this is huge tonight. This is tonight being the world premiere for the 76 card tribute set that was commissioned by Dale Earnhardt Incorporated 18 months ago. We've had over 14,000 sets that have been ordered so far tonight. The item number C19629 at $29.38. Worked with Kelly at midnight, worked with Dale Jr. earlier this afternoon, working with Kerry Earnhardt so far this evening. Man, you're a class act. It is a pleasure to have had you on the program.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
Kerry Earnhardt.
Thank you.
We're going to take a real quick break. We're coming right back to Daytona. We've got another hour of broadcasting for race fans only. You're going to meet a man behind the scenes that has a lot of impact on the success of the young man that we just talked about. You're going to meet Tony Eury Sr. coming up next. Thank you.
This 4th of July, Americans remember the birth of our great nation. And this Thursday, QVC honors Independence Day with special programs throughout the day, featuring products that celebrate America and the land we love. From Peterborough baskets to Black Hills Gold to patriotic home decor, there's something for everyone. So as we celebrate our nation's freedom, join us for a slice of Americana all day this July 4th on QVC.
Renew your look with La Mirador. Spa-inspired advanced technology skincare with expert beauty advice from Carol Alt. Intelligent beauty for today and tomorrow. La Mirador Skincare with Carol Alt. 3 shows this Tuesday at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern on QVC.
Who is Koos? He's an award-winning fashion designer and creator of bold, one-of-a-kind styles made especially for QVC.
Hi, I'm Koos. I'll be back on QVC this week for Koos, of course.
Join Koos this Wednesday starting at 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern on QVC.
You're watching QVC. Quality, value, convenience.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a fabulous hour. We are here in Daytona Beach, Florida, located at just a fun place. It's referred to as the Peabody Auditorium. We are in the heart of NASCAR country. We're about a block away from the beach, and we're having a ball. Tonight, so far, we've had a chance to interview and talk with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kerry Earnhardt, and an interview that I've been looking forward to for a very long time because no one knew Dale Earnhardt like a true friend and a business associate. You guys grew up together. I want to introduce you to Tony Eury Sr. What a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Man, this is great. I have been wanting to sit next to you and talk to you on air for the longest time because you have insight of a technical nature in motorsports that very few people will ever acquire. You knew Dale Earnhardt like nobody else. You knew Dale Jr. when this guy was running around in diapers. I mean, your name should be Earnhardt. I mean, you're as much of the family as anybody ever was.
Well, I kind of got introduced through my dad with his dad, you know, and Dale and I became friends and friends with the whole Earnhardt family. And how this deal here ever happened, I'll never know. It just a good friendship, and just turned. Next thing I know, I had a job, you know. So it all happened so fast, and kind of glad it did. You know, we've had a good time with it.
I'll tell you what, I had an opportunity interviewing Dale one time. And we were just talking about some folks behind the scenes, and your name popped up very quickly, and a big smile hit his face. You could tell there was a lot of friendship there. We're going to talk about some of the old days, and we're going to talk about some of the fun things that have happened, and we're going to introduce you to some new product. Here is the Dale Earnhardt 1980 Coca-Cola 124 scale Club Car Bank at $53 at C18557. I want to tell you first and foremost how this all, we're going to have more and more of these sold out signs popping up tonight. The Full graphic color hood, that is sold out. We'll go back to High Ref, see what we can't do to get more of those back into the inventory. Back in 1998, you folks had an opportunity to head over to Suzuka, Japan and do an exhibition race. And anything that was Coca-Cola and the Earnhardt family was blown out in the world of die-cast. And the folks at Action Performance went back, looked through the archives and went, hey, wait a minute, did Dale ever drive a Coca-Cola car other than the ones we just did for the Suzuka race? And it turns out back in 1980, he drove a Coke car at Charlotte. And here it is. This is pretty cool. One of the things I want to point out about this is that this piece is part of the private collectors club for the RCCA. I hope you can see it. There's actually a slit in the back window. This is a die-cast bank. They're sequentially numbered. I happen to just be pleased to have the number 3 here. But in the world of die-cast, when we start adding things up, there's not a lot of these that were ever made. 5,004 were created. The actual car, if it were not the bank, the one that went out to the general consumer, 64,000 of those were made. So these are very, very minuscule. And we're kind of going back a little bit, but the story on this one is October 4th of 1980. It's actually a 79.